What's up, guys? Welcome to MDTV Canes all day. If you're rocking with you, then you know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button so you never miss out on a video. Today, we're reacting to Mario Cristobal on the Joe Rose Show. I will put a link to this interview, to this content in the description if you want to just listen to that. But we're going to go through it. I'm going to give you my reactions, give you my thoughts. Guys, if you want to get signed up with the membership and join our membership-only live stream, plus get other exclusive content, make sure you click the link in the pinned comments. Get signed up today. It's like $2. Let's dive into this bad boy.
7-0, Mario Cristobal joins us this morning. Boy, the Canes, a wild roller coaster from the first drive to the last. Coach, what was it like down on the sideline watching that thing? What a crazy and really fun game to watch.
Yeah, crazy game. Certainly some issues that we hurt ourselves with, but tremendous resiliency, tremendous fight. And sometimes you just got to find a way, and that's what that night ended up being. So proud of the effort of our dudes, and on to the next one.
Yeah,
gotta find a way. Now this game will be looked back in one or two ways. This game will be the game where Miami was exposed. Now everybody knows what they got to do to attack Miami. This was the game to show everybody that Miami is phony. Or we can look back at this and say this was the game that showed us the resiliency of the Miami Hurricanes. And we're going to find out. Hopefully, we took the punch, we learned from battle, and now we're going to get stronger.
On to the next one.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what, and you're right. Coach, to put it nicely, in years past, if that happens, we're all waking up this morning and everybody's going, oh my gosh, it happened, we thought this, and you guys find a way. Even Cam Ward, by the way, made some of the greatest throws I've seen in a long time, seeing him in person, especially that first touchdown down the middle and the post and the back of the end zone was just dropped a beautiful pass. He did turn it over 3 times, but you look and my God, 400 yards of offense, total running and throwing, a 5-touchdown game. What'd you think overall of his play, including that fourth, that last drive and what he was able to do to put you guys ahead?
Listen, I don't like that Cam threw the ball or had 3 turnovers, but when you look at what he did in totality of the game, when you look at what he was like in the fourth quarter, hey, the good outweighs the bad. Now, we don't want to make this a habit. We don't want to get consistently turning the ball over, but I will take Cam Ward able to turn the ball over and say, okay, let's regroup. Let's get back at it. Ice in his veins rather than, him just play timid and not play himself.
To put you guys ahead.
Well, like him, of course, we're never happy when we turn the ball over. That certainly wasn't characteristic of us as we've started this year so far, but just found a way to keep getting it back. You always talk about the tight end play. Probably the play of the day is Elijah Arroyo chasing down the interception. Probably ran 100 and ended up being about 120 yards because it was across the field.
Yeah.
And 3 plays later, it's we tackle the guy on the fake field goal. So that could have been a 17-point game late in the third quarter. So just a massive effort by some really, really high-end dudes that end up being the difference in the game.
I see a lot of people saying, oh, if Cam Ward wouldn't have pitched it to Riley Williams, we would have lost the game. Oh, if Xavier Restrepo wouldn't have caught this pass, we wouldn't have caught the game. If Malik Bryant wouldn't have. Listen, the bottom line is when you come back like Miami did, when you fight like Miami did in a game like that, there are so many different pieces of the puzzle that got us that victory. The Malik Bryant play was one. The Xavier Restrepo catch was one. The Riley Williams stiff arm was one. And the Elijah Royal hawking that man down. Hawking that man down. And listen, we see how fast Elijah Royal is. We see how tall Elijah Roy is. We see how he can catch. We see how he can move. But when NFL players go and talk to Mario Cristobal can say, what type of player he is, I'm going to show you. And that right there is going to show you. Because this man ran so far to make that type tackle on former Miami Hurricane Caleb Spencer. Virginia Tech fans, they want to whine and complain all weekend. Look, to be honest, I don't blame them. But you got to look at yourself at some point and say, how the hell did y'all have a convoy of players and y'all let a big-ass tight end running like a freight train and nobody got in his way? It wasn't like he snuck up. That man was chugga. And you look at the play and the blockers are just like, and he was able to get in there and make the tackle. Hell of a play by Elijah Royal. Hell of a good job by the team, man. I'm proud of these boys.
In the game.
Yeah, and by the way, there were a lot of guys that got involved in this. I know I come on here and I always tell you my favorite plays, and then you hit me with a great stat right there, just a great hustle play. And that Arroyo kid is just the catch down the sideline to start the game is just a well-thrown ball, but also just a great catch. Going back, and I think we all found out together this ACC thing's not going to be easy because you're going to get everybody's best effort, and that Virginia Tech team is really friggin' good. What'd you think?
So we knew it going into the season that game, Game 5 of Friday night was going to be one of the biggest tests of the year. And their record, we knew it wasn't indicative of the type of team that they were. The quarterback's an absolute stud. They're big and physical up front. They lead the country in sacks and all that stuff. Or have one of the players that leads the country in sacks. And their corners could flat out cover. They do a great job playing man, so they could do a lot. And the running back proved to be really hard to tackle. We knew it, but we ended up feeling it we didn't tackle well, Joe. We didn't tackle well. But we just found a way to get to the football, get enough hats there when it counted at the end, and end up winning the game. But certainly it was a tremendous challenge.
Horrific tackling performance. And one thing that we talked about in the members only live stream was if we don't tackle 33, it could be a long game. And that ended up being one of the factors. Luckily, the defense made enough plays to win us the game. But when you look at this Virginia Tech team, mobile quarterback, hell of a running back, a good corners, and a defensive lineman who can rush the quarterback, who he's leading the league, leading the college in sacks. This team is a good team, but they just don't have it all together. They lost to Rutgers. Rutgers is undefeated, and they lost to Vanderbilt. No excuses for them losing to Vanderbilt, but they lost to them in overtime. But when you look at them on paper, they're a formidable opponent. And I think what we have found out when you look at Kentucky beating Ole Miss, when you look at Wisconsin being up on USC most of the game, when you look at how college football is, we cannot afford to overlook or overreact to any game. It's easy to look at this game and say, oh, well, I guess Miami ain't good because they played a close game against Virginia Tech. That's silly because most championship teams have close games. Miami figured a way to win this. Again, hopefully we learn from this, and hopefully the tackling that we seen Friday night does not continue, because if it does, this defense is in for a long season if the tackling continues to be like it was last week.
The challenge.
Yeah, I'm sure, I started the show this morning. There are probably a lot of guys going to watch that game and go, wow, I could have tackled better. There's going to be some guys on the O-line saying, man, I could have blocked better. We could have done a better job against that pass rush. And then the 3 turnovers. Listen, nobody wants, because a lot of them ended up being touchdowns off those turnovers. Not things you want, but you still find a way to win that game at the end, Coach. And it kept going double digit, and I go, how many times before? And finally, you get the breakthrough and able to take that lead. But this team got a little different makeup to it for sure.
Yeah, and the best part about it is, and look, they weren't pissed. They were more just not very content with the way that we played, but everybody recognized the fact that, you know what, because on Saturday, what they do, they sat there and they watched college football and they watched people get beat that aren't supposed to get beat. They watched turnovers, They watched plays, and they realized that, you know what, winning is really, really hard, and if you aren't at your very best, you can get your butt beat. So tremendous lesson for everybody. And also learned it on the run and found a way to punch through. So a lot of good stuff, a lot of stuff to clean up. So it gives us some good juice going into this week with an extra day of work as we prepare to head out to California.
Hey, let me ask you, the Hail Mary, big topic. Hail Mary ruled a touchdown with no time left. Then the officials get together and they reverse the call. What did you think as you're going through that and the ball's coming down and your guy running around with the football like he had ripped it out or caught it? I didn't know at the time. What did you see?
Well, anytime a game is left in the hands of the referee, you're always concerned, right? I remember Jimmy Johnson telling us before we went to South Bend back in '87. That was 88. Don't ever leave it in the hands of the ref.
And we had that fumble. That year.
Watching it, the replay, felt pretty comfortable going, okay, we're going to be okay as long as we rule it like it is. But you've seen that go a million different ways a bunch of times. So, but it ended up going the way it was supposed to go.
What?
Finally, it went the way we weren't supposed to go. I'm hearing people say the ACC has protected Miami since when? Did they not watch last year where Miami had 2 safeties, but they were called no safeties? Did they not watch this game where Virginia Tech had 2 number 17s lined up, where we're about to put the game away in the second quarter, but they called a phantom ass hold on Mark Bell? Look, miss me with the referee shit because Miami has not been getting any favorable calls. Matter of fact, it's been the opposite.
On the way it was supposed to go.
What did they say officially to you? I'm just curious because they're explaining it to their coach and to you. What exactly did they say? One of your guys had ripped the ball out or he was out of bounds and that made it an incomplete pass?
A little bit of everything. Ball, no one had control. One of our players was already touching the out of bounds line, the boundaries there, while his hands were on the ball. There was just there were a couple things that made it an incomplete pass.
Yeah, well.
I will say, and this is taking my bias aside, I really thought it was an incomplete pass because they showed the side view and the ball was moving from start to finish. Still too close for comfort. Still can't leave it in the referee's hands. But I watched the ball move several times during that replay.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, you want to talk about that last drive for just a second. And the Cam Ward play, first of all, one guy goes high at him and looks like he's going to take his head off. He kind of ducks, got great balance. He's a strong guy, lower body, you can tell. And then as he's going down, somehow he sees his tight end, Riley Williams, out off the side, flips him the ball, and he runs down sideline, damn near scores. Talk about that play during that part of the game. They called it the Heisman moment all Saturday.
Well, I think right before that, Restrepo had a Heisman moment. He runs the whip route, and he slips, and he's going down backwards on a 4th and 3. And Cam puts the ball there. Restrepo catches that ball flipping almost backwards.
That's right.
And the play, and then on that play, on the play with to Riley Williams, actually, Riley gets beat on protection. They bring field pressure, right? He gets knocked back and falls down. And the right tackle, he gets beat inside and
wow.
wraps up Cam. But Cam slings him off. Riley gets back up to keep the play alive, and Cam just flips it to him. And then a stiff arm, and then a pretty, the receiver out there shielded the corner on the perimeter and got all the way down to the 2. And good by Riley not extending the ball down there. So many times you see guys extend the ball and it comes out and all of a sudden it goes the other way. Gave us a chance. Then we ran one of our goal line plays and ran it really well. And all of a sudden, go play defense.
Yeah.
Shout out to Riley Williams. When you put it that way, that is such good teach tape. First of all, you can teach Riley you got to block better. You can teach the offensive line you got to block better. But you also can say, but look what Riley did. How many times have y'all seen in a play, a player gets beat and they just lay on the ground. Sometimes they fake it like they hurt. They just lay on the ground. Riley Williams not only lays on the ground, he gets up, catches the ball, put a nasty stiff arm. Shout out to Riley Williams and, of course, Cam Ward for improvising and making the play. But I think there's a lot of teach tape from the Virginia Tech game and a lot of plays that you can say, look, if this player quits, then we don't win the game. But Riley Williams gets back up. Elijah Royal keeps on chasing. Xavier Restrepo never loses concentration. There are a lot of teachable moments in this game.
Go play defense.
Yeah, and then on top of all that stuff, boy, you're getting a lot of guys involved in this. It's fun to be a receiver right now, whether you're a tight end or a wide receiver on the outside. Just so many guys that made plays. But I do want to go back, Restrepo. If that ball's a little bit high, that's ball game. You're right. It's 4th and 3. And if that's a little higher and he actually puts it, I mean, between the ground and not throwing it to the ground and not throwing it too high, that's not a large area to throw to a guy that slips on the ground like that. And he makes just a great hands catch to keep that drive alive and keep things going. But it was just that kind of night from start to finish. What's it like over there on the side? Coach, I've been seeing some of your roller coaster rides you've been on. I know you've had some different jobs and been different places. It's hard to imagine. I mean, you have a chance early to go up double digit, down double digit, maybe you're going to go down 17 or 30.
I want to talk about the Xavier Restrepo catch because there's been 2 moments already this season where Xavier Restrepo has made me lose my mind like I'm a little girl or something. Usually I'm like celebrating and stuff like that, but when he broke the dude's ACL in the Florida game, and then when he made the catch against Virginia Tech, shout out to X, man. So happy he decided to come back.
Go down 17 or 13. They do the fake field goal. By the way, did want to ask you about that fake field goal. Did you guys think there was a chance that they were going to do a fake field goal with such a good field goal kicker?
Joe Rose just asked 6 questions in one little slot.
With such a good field goal kicker?
We did. We did.
Wow.
I just saw both of the safeties and the edge guys pop out. So the rush was from the interior and then the outside. Then we had a couple guys in position to be able to rally to the ball in case it broke. But Anthony Campbell blew up the guard, which hurt the tight end's path. And then Malik Bryant made a great play. But, Joe, to your point, I mean, I think Coach Saban said it awesome the other day. I was watching football on Saturday. It's like, brother, this game is 4 quarters of football. I think everybody, they kind of panic and they kind of lose their minds when things aren't going perfect. People forget, man, we've had some awesome seasons here. I remember being part of it as a player, and there was 1 and 2 point games against Arkansas with a missed field goal at the end and a missed field goal by Arizona. I mean, this is a 4-quarter game. Right. Just your ass playing. Just keep playing. Play the next play, coach the next play. And don't look at the clock. Don't look at the scoreboard. Just keep going. And that's what our guys ended up doing. They just kept playing and found a way.
Let's go back to Cam Ward for just a second. Special talent for sure, but he makes a bad throw, but he comes right back. It doesn't change the way he looks at the game. He's liable. If he throws that, you call that same pattern, and he thinks he can complete it, he's coming right back to it. That guy does not go, oh boy, I've got no negative demons around this guy in that brain, is there?
No, the guy's relentless. It makes him that much more upset and that much more driven. And, you could jump all over him too, and he takes it like a pro and he jumps all over himself. I mean, he's just unfazed. And so important, man. You've seen so many guys at that position, just a bad play, a bad series, a bad half, and they crumble. That guy he just doesn't care.
Oh, yeah. We have seen quarterbacks throw an interception, and the camera pans over to them, and they're soaking. They're looking down. We've seen it.
That guy he just doesn't care. He just wants to win. So awesome to be around, awesome to have on this team.
Yeah, I always wonder because Coach, I mean, people are talking about him. I mean, it is Cam Ward and the Miami Hurricanes, and I know for you it's about the team, but it starts with him, and I keep going, man, does it affect you when you got everybody telling you and everybody, and you see it, and you see the numbers, and you see the throws he makes, and he's getting hyped, which, by the way, good for business, but I always wonder, how's he handle it as you see him day to day?
I think one of the best things about him, the best part about him, he's relentless. Like, he's unfazed, alpha, like, he keeps coming. I think another part that's really, really awesome about him is his capacity. His IQ is super high, and he quickly understood that when you come to Miami, that it's us against everybody, and everybody wants you to lose, right? When you're at Miami, it's just, because we won a lot of games back in the day, we're very arrogant about it, but everybody wants your ass to lose, and so he understands that, and he's done an unbelievable job with the noise and the attention, and he's going to keep doing that. That's what he is. It's the way he was raised.
Well, I got to tell you, your guys got a little something to him for sure. So I got to ask you, watching Rueben Bain, no Jalen Rivers. I know we're beating you up on this question. I know you'll get beat up on it again this afternoon. Where do we stand? Is there a chance they're going to be out a while? Are you just waiting? Where do they stand right now?
Yeah, Rueben Bain, I'm sure you guys saw him pregame. He looked great. It was right kind of at the edge right there, and we chose the route to guarantee his well-being and his health as best we could. So Rueben is a go for this week, and Jalen is going to be a game-time decision.
Rueben is a go. Jalen Rivers is a game-time decision. Now, guys, I have kept the same energy since the beginning of the season when we listened to Mario Cristobal talk about injuries. He said Akeem Mesidor, Mark Fletcher are 100% ready to go. Then we got into Jalen Rivers and Rueben Bain talk, and it was their day-to-day, they blah, blah, blah. And every time, so if we're keeping that same energy, I would guess that Rueben Bain will be playing against California. And I don't think Jalen Rivers is going to play. Based off what he just said, just my guess. Because if they're going to play most of the time, he's like, there a go, 100%. So I think Rivers will miss, and I think Rueben Bain will be playing against California. That is my opinion and guess.
Game time decision.
Okay. Yeah, by the way, how have the other guys played overall? I'm just curious. I know everybody had their good and bad plays. We got to see it, but overall, the O-line.
You know what? I think early on, they certainly got some pocket pressure, and they pushed the pocket some. And, we asked our O-line to do a lot of protecting now. That's not always fun, and that's not always easy to do against that team. But overall, you know what? Won more battles than they lost. And as the game went on, I felt like we started wearing them down a little bit, started popping some runs in the third and fourth quarter. I think Malik Bryant was actually the player of the game for the defense. Made the tackle on the on the fake field goal. Also had a huge tackle on that last drive that ate up about 25 seconds of clock. So I think a lot of guys stepped up. And I think what guys understand now, and what we hammered and what I hammered with them yesterday was like, we need more people doing all the dirty work, man. Get your butt in there. If you got to play nose tackle, if you got to play 3 technique, doesn't matter if you're an edge guy, get your butt in there. If you got to go block as a receiver, go knock the safety around. If you're a running back, you go protect for the quarterback. Go do the dirty work that helps us be successful. If we can do that at a higher level, we're going to keep winning. So
I'm guessing for you, one of the frustrations when you have to critique your team even after a win was the blocking and tackling. Could have been better. Yeah, by the way, outside as well as inside.
Without a doubt. I mean, this game really is, it's that simple. It's blocking, tackling, throwing, catching, running. I mean, that's football. And there were times where we blocked really well, and other times where we could improve it. And then tackling was definitely, it was subpar. It wasn't to our standard. Felt that, we didn't run our feet through contact. We were tackling high. We missed some tackles. But we just kept coming. Guys play with high effort, on the perimeter. A couple times, we let the ball outflank us, but we found a way to rally and get it done. So I told the guy I refuse to be upset about a victory. Refuse.
Yes, I agree.
That's what Sunday and Monday are for, man. You jump right on it, and instead of pouting around like a baby, you attack it. You create a plan to get better, and you go fix it. And that's what the guys did yesterday with the coaches, and it was a good day of progress.
Blocking and tackling. Been told that since I started playing and following football. If you can't block and tackle, you're not going to be a good team. I thought yesterday, or I guess Friday, we really missed Jalen Rivers and RUEBEN BAIN. I think we really missed those guys. And when they get back, we can be better. But I'm hoping Friday was not an example of what's to come, because blocking and tackling, you used to be able to say, okay, we had a bad blocking and tackling week. Well, we're going to be extra physical in practice, full pads. But now there's rules and regulations. You can't have people going to the ground and all this stuff with how they're doing practice. So it's hard to get better at tackling. It's hard to practice tackling. So I hope what we saw was an aberration. I hope when we get our two big guys, Jalen Rivers and RUEBEN BAIN, that both blocking and tackling improves. And I do want to give a shout out to the offensive line, because I do feel like in the third quarter, we started popping a couple runs. Now, they weren't 30, 40-yard runs, but they were some nice runs that kept the defense off balance. But we definitely missed Jalen Rivers and RUEBEN BAIN Friday.
Good day of progress.
Well, I got to tell you, Ole Miss would love to be in your situation, a big favorite, and Kentucky comes in, and, they're already looking ahead to their schedule coming up, and, boy, all of a sudden you got a loss. And so you're right, to your point, and those happen every weekend in college football. So I got to ask you this one. I've never seen it before. They kick a 57-yard field goal. This kid that they have, what a leg, this John Long, he kicks it. Now they decide to squib kick it, ends up in the hands of one of your fastest players, and you guys get close enough with just a few seconds left to have Borregales kick 156 the other way. You ever seen anything like that?
Well, first of all, CJ almost went to the house.
Yeah, that's right. You got
almost gone, and then Andy's kick was from 56, and it had the leg to go 65, 66. It was
wow. Yeah, he crushed it.
Yeah, it would hit halfway up the net. So, yeah, I mean, think about that. If you don't have that, they're playing for a field goal at the end of the game. So many plays that swung that thing one way or another. And again, just really proud of the way our guys fought and clean it up. Go get better, man.
Hey, and by the way, that passionate guy, Michael Irvin, he is something else too, huh? Having some of the former players on the side. I know you've always welcomed those guys back. How nice is that to have those guys around? They listen when he talks.
Yeah, I mean, it's in his blood, man. That guy's one of the truest Canes you could ever imagine, and just want to slap some pads on him and a helmet and send him on a go route out there.
Hey, Mike was going crazy. And then when you watch the cinematic recap, you get to hear more of what Mike was saying and more. Man, it's just wet all down on the man. It looked like the man played the game.
And the sad part is I think Mike will go put the uniform on and go, I think I got one for you, Coach. I think I have one there. So
yeah, he actually tried to, but like
So now you go out to Berkeley to play Cal, and then on top of everything else, they move the game to late night. And I know that's not a big deal for you. And then you got game day going to be out there as well. So what's that going to be like going to the West Coast and part of the new ACC for you?
Well, I think a couple things. If you make too big of a deal of it, it becomes a big deal.
Right.
And that's really not the focus. It's not the main thing. We have a plan to get out there early. We have a plan to acclimate to the time change. We've done it before. We've done it west to east when we were out west and done it east to west. So, that part, it's more about making sure that we understand the type of team that this is. I mean, they lead the country in interceptions, lead the conference in scoring defense. Their quarterback is a local guy with everything to prove. And what everybody's finding out, conference play is playoff football. That's what it is.
Yeah, they got like 10, 11 interceptions already on the season. That's crazy, California.
That's what it is. You're in the playoffs. Everybody's trying to get to the conference championship game. So you got to be at your very best. Because if you're not, you're not going to like the result. And certainly, we don't want to leave anything, especially not the end of the game, in the hands of the officials. So we got a great plan. Had a good day of practice yesterday. Guys are ready to roll. So looking forward to all this work we've done, Joe. We have an opportunity to show what the University of Miami is becoming. And we just want to focus on being what we are, doing what we do on a daily basis, and let everything else take care of itself.
Yeah, no question. By the way, what a great story, too. Quarterback's from Columbus High School, and same school you went to and grew up, and I'm sure you probably know the family, I'm guessing. Old Doc and the family over there, and a couple of the sons have been quarterbacks, and he's doing a hell of a job out there at Cal. So what a
great player, and I'm just wondering if you're going to be the guest picker out there on game.
Yeah, I'm going to be the guest picker out entertaining in Boston Saturday night for a Sunday game against the Patriots. But Marl, damn, I wish I was going out there with you. I'd be sitting there right next to you just to see what you're. Now, you know what? Probably wouldn't want to sit by you because I got a feeling you're a little zoned in by that time already. So, Coach, thank you. Really appreciate you coming on this morning.
Appreciate you, Joe. Have a good rest of the day.
Congrats.
All right, College game day will be. So this is going to be a big week for Miami because College game day is going to be involved, a little extra festivities. The game is late, ACC after dark. I'm ready to see how this team will bounce back. This game will tell us a lot about Miami because Miami will be a favorite. Miami is the better team on paper, but was last week just a slip up, or is it who we are? That's what we get to tell the world Saturday against California. What did you guys think about the video? Let me know. I'm out. Peace.